Welcome back to another episode of Dude Dads. We're going to talk today about Jeri and his Gator hunt. Probably talk about some of this coaching that we were talking this morning about. Do a little recap. We're also going to do a little questionnaire with Jeri. I have some questions I'm going to ask him and see how he does.
Surprise.
Today is Friday. It's a great day. We've had a good morning. Jeri took 32 hours to get over here. Like I'm busy. I already had a business meeting this morning. We're already out here working. Jeri's off dicking around. I don't know what he does when he leaves the daycare drop-off, the school drop-off, whatever you may call it. I don't know what he does in between there. But I'm going to say he cranked one out because it took a little long.
Possibility.
That's a guilty face. Jeri, welcome. How we doing today?
We're doing good. No, I had to run my daughter's book bag to her school because she forgot it in Mom's car.
Wow.
So trip to the high school, Mommy's car, trip to her school. Then I got chit-chatting with the fine people in there. So
sometimes the daycare will say, hey, Megan didn't have his book back today. I'm like, does he need it?
You mean school?
Whatever it is, daycare. Not a daycare. Or somebody will be like, does he need it? What is he? Is he doing something?
Now, if it was little Jeri, I wouldn't worry about it. But Charlotte, she's in 5th grade. I think her Chromebook's in there. I think she needs it.
Chromebook. They use Chromebooks?
Yeah.
What's
little
Chromebook?
Jerry's in 1st grade. He has a Chromebook.
What's a Chromebook? Is that the
computer.
Google version of an Apple?
I guess
the school hands those out?
Yeah.
Huh. And what do they do on them?
I don't know. It's like
what do you mean you don't know?
It's like, when we were kids, we got workbooks. We got a book that you work through. I think it's the same thing, just electronic.
So does it actually make them stay on it because it's electronic?
No, they're not on it.
What kind of flies and moths are we raising? Now we got to put them in front of an illuminated screen now to get them to pay attention.
Yeah. No, I think the intent is efficiency, but yeah, we can go on it. Anyway,
hey, talk to me. So Jeri, starting. How did this trip come about?
So this alligator trip, you guys, if you follow us on Instagram, you saw Tom posted a picture. Went on an alligator hunt.
That's right. I posted it because I'm the fucking man out here doing the social networking. I'm out here in the ether fucking posting shit up.
So my buddy who lives in South Carolina, he put in for his alligator tag 7 years ago. He finally got picked like 3 years ago or so. He's like, hey, when I get picked, be ready. You're going to make a trip down and do this alligator hunt with me. Finally got picked. We went down last week before last, opening weekend, tried. We had 2 hunts down there, really bad weather, different tactics. What I would say now, knowing a little bit more, probably not the most efficient tactics we used.
What was the first tactics you used?
So using a fishing rod with weighted treble hooks, snag hooks to snag the alligators.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do. That's the thing, right?
On what line?
I had a 100-pound braid on my fishing rod.
What kind of fishing rod?
I have just a cheap ugly stick with a nice kingfish reel. Okay. My buddy has a Penn rod and reel that he used.
And once you treble hooked them, then what's the next move?
You're fighting them, either bringing them to you, but also bringing the boat to them. Yeah. Because then after that, you're snagging them with a bigger hook and a rope to hand line them in.
So this didn't work.
It's more challenging. I think the bigger thing with us the first trip was the weather.
Yeah.
Was fighting against us pretty bad. So because of that, we did one more trip. I went down Tuesday morning, camped out. We ended up hunting early morning Wednesday. We left the campsite around 3 a.m., got on a boat a little after 3:30. This guy used harpoon guns. Much better. Much more efficient. Also was set up with massive lights on the front of the boat. It was a fan boat, or airboat. Shout out to Renegade Bow Fishing in South Carolina. The dude Cole is phenomenal. His boat is phenomenal. Custom made.
Out there hustling.
Dude, this engine... a 540 Chevy big block.
Ooh.
It was fucking loud. You see people on airboats. I don't know, have you ever been on one?
No.
And you see everybody, they have earmuffs on. Dude, if that thing was over and idle, you had to have earmuffs on. That 540 is right behind you, right behind your seat.
Yeah. Oh, I see it.
It's fucking cranking.
And to give some content, this is 3:30 in the morning?
Yes.
You guys were on call at around 12.
Midnight. Yeah, he had taken out another party. We were his second party, so he is hustling big time. So he gave us kind of the rundown. We're gonna really try to. We only had a couple hours before sun started coming up. If you don't know, gators get a lot less active in the daylight, so we're trying to run and gun, squeeze this in. Checked a couple spots out. Saw a couple alligators. Nothing we wanted to take. Finally, we got on this one. We knew it was a big alligator. Didn't know how big. We knew it was like, okay, it's one we definitely want to try to kill. He had told us you're probably not going to have to take a far shot. He said, I'll get you right on top of him. I'll get you to where you're shooting straight down right in front of the boat. So we see this thing, kind of waiting for it to pick it up in the lights in the water. It skirted across in front of us, took a left-hand turn, and started heading the opposite direction as the boat off the port side.
That's a technical gator term, skirting.
And
skirt.
I would say probably three yards or so, 10 to 15 feet off the side of the boat.
Yeah, you can see in the video. You're right there.
And I heard the guy. He said, "Right there, right there, right there." Kind of with a sense of urgency. So I mean, I pulled up the harpoon, shot, and just as I was pulling the trigger, he said, "Wait." But I was already committed. I already pulled the trigger. And I hit it. I stuck it. Good. Mm-hmm. I thought I fucked up. And I was like, oh, shit, he didn't want me to shoot that one. Or I didn't know what really was going on. Long story short, it was the right one. He just wanted me to wait because he was going to put me right on top of him. Oh. He's like, dude, you put a perfect shot on it. Great job. You did good. He said, I was just going to get you right on top of it to make sure. He said, I knew it was a big gator. I wanted to make sure we got it.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you're taking guest out, he tries to remove as much air as possible.
Exactly.
Because you don't know who is actually. Just because it's a hunter doesn't mean he's an athlete or.
He didn't know I was an athlete. He didn't know that I'm going to hit that fucking thing.
Yeah.
And because he gave me props later, and he's like, dude, that was fucking money. You drilled it. So that's one harpoon. And these things are on lines. There's a cork on the end of it. Got that in the water, hooked back around, found it again. My buddy DJ, he put the second harpoon in it. Hooked back around. We had a big harpoon. He stuck in it. So now we got 3 harpoons in this thing. Let it chill for a second. We know it's not going anywhere. They're all on cork, so if the alligator moved, we could find it. Now, this point, you go with a bang stick. Basically, it's a long stick that has a bullet on the end of it that when you jam it downward into the alligator's head, it fires a bullet.
Yeah.
So we had pulling it up, hand line it. Once the head comes out of the water, there's a little tiny, I don't know, let's say a quarter, size of a quarter on the alligator's head, that there's a soft spot that these bullets can penetrate into their brain. Other areas of that skull, a bullet, small bullet's not going to do it. It's not going to break through and kill this thing. So you have very precise. So he hits it in the head. We think we're done. We ended up having to put a couple other shots in it to finish it. They're fucking tough.
When did you have to put those in? Like you're trying to get in the boat, you're like, wait, let's get a couple more.
Yeah, so once we let it settle down, we gave it about 10 minutes or so. Went back to it, started to pull it up, and as he's hand lining up, its head comes out of the water just a little bit, and then it just fucking snaps at him. I mean, this big giant.
Is that the video I saw of him?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say its nose was probably 12 inches wide, just like its snout part, you know? And that thing was not happy. I don't know if you guys have heard, alligators have a little bit of an attitude problem.
Yeah. You know well, it's their Abdullah al-Mghada.
Yeah, something about all those teeth and no toothbrush. It's crazy. But
you're wrong, Mr. Colonel Sanders.
So he pulled it. He had a handgun on him. He pulled it out, shot it in the head one more time.
That's awesome.
All right, great. Later on, this thing's too big to get in the boat. It's 547 pounds. We didn't know how much it weighs. All we knew is we weren't getting that fuck. The 3 of us weren't getting in the boat. It wasn't going to happen. He had a winch with him, an electric winch. There was no trees nearby where we could kind of get this thing hoisted up. So we're like, okay, we're going to have to tie it to the side of the boat and then drag it back to the boat ramp.
And what did he say if there's any odds, like say if you're dragging a tuna, for sharks, is there other alligators that would want to come up and take a bite?
Yeah, I mean, alligators do eat each other, but no, I would worry more about hitting a stump or something like that. But we were all good.
Will a dead alligator float for a little bit?
No,
or it's gonna
they sink right away.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So when we're trying to get this thing pulled to the side of the boat to start securing lines and getting it tied, and we got to like get his mouth taped and all that because you just don't know, right? It could, and this thing was laying there like it was dead. We were moving it with the rope and all that shit, and then all of a sudden you see its body just like twist, like shake, like it's got some life in it. And he was like, "No, we ain't fucking with this." So he took out his gun, shot it 2 more times in the head, and then it's like, all right, we're good. Got his mouth taped up. Everything secured. We had a rope around its front shoulders tied to the boat. We had another one around its hindquarters tied to the boat. Its tail we flipped up and kind of got that secured. So it was good to the boat. And we putted along. It took about an hour to go 4 miles back to the ramp. Nice and slow. Give us a tree.
Did you have any brandy on the way back? Did you have any little...
Dude, no. You know why? Because this was... The night before, we're at a campsite, right? We're tent camping, and we expected to hear from this guy around midnight, right? So, about 9 o'clock, I'm going to go lay down for a little bit. I know we're going to be up all night. I'm going to go shut my eyes, take a little nap, and kept waking up. Hear anything? Nope, nothing. The guy's communicating with us. He's still out with the other party. The guy wouldn't kill anything. He was just, like, too particular. He put him on, like, 3 10 to 11-foot alligators, and he wouldn't pull the trigger. He wanted something bigger. So the heroes had to come out. We had to go out there. Within an hour from the time we pushed off to the time we put the first harpoon in that gator was less than an hour. And and it ended up being 11 foot 8 inches, 547 pounds.
That's a big boy.
Massive. So, yeah. Renegade Bow Fishing, if you're ever in South Carolina, around the Charleston area, look them up.
Now, now you guys, you're going to, DJ?
Yeah.
He's going to get a rug made.
Yep.
You guys got it cut up. You're going to get, what cut
Lots
you
of
getting?
meat. Lots of nuggies.
Shout out to, what's the place called you said was really nice?
Cordray's in South Carolina. Phenomenal people.
They gave you samples.
And yeah.
I don't go to the taxidermy. I don't go to butcher here for deer and get samples.
No, man. They're like, what do you guys want to get done? You're going to have about 100 pounds of meat. All the tail meat's going to be in chunks for your little dino nuggies, your little deer or gator nuggets. Then all the other meat, they got salami, they got sausages, they've got gator jerky. Hey, here you go. We're going to spread all this out. They gave us all these samples to try, see what we liked. So we're getting a little bit of everything.
Do they make like a jambalaya for you with the
No, but I am going to make a gumbo. Jambalaya.
I think it'd be disrespectful not to. I think what we should do. Should have something at the Naughty Mermaid and
Filthy Mermaid.
Maybe is it Filthy?
The bar is the Filthy Mermaid.
I'm
the
sorry.
boat is the Naughty Mermaid.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Thomas.
So we should do I should go out crabbing, get some crabs, get the gator going.
Yeah, what's funny is
have a proper East Coast fucking dinner.
That'd be nice. We tried to get pigs Wednesday night. No luck.
You did go.
Yeah, we did go. We got back from the butcher, dropping the gator off the processor, went back to the campsite, broke down camp, had lunch real quick or late breakfast, and hammered down 3.5 hours to my buddy's farm in Abbeville and tried for gators.
You almost had
tried for
a North Carolina surf and turf.
Yep, the South Carolina surf and turf.
South Carolina.
That's what we was going for. But yeah, no luck. We're out there for a few hours, and then it's another hour and a half drive back to his house. So I was tired, and I got up early in the morning yesterday and hammered down.
Yeah,
right to football practice.
Right to football practice,
just like a good dad.
Like good little daddy. You said that Charlotte came up, gave you the biggest hug.
Dude, I'm telling you, I told you this morning, it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling ever. And so to give you guys an idea, I haven't seen. It's only been a couple of days without the family, but you still miss your kids. They still miss you. And I pull up the football practice. Get out of the truck, I'm walking across the parking lot, and my daughter comes running around her mom's car, running full sprint to me, and with a huge smile on her face, and jumps into my arms, wraps her legs around me, biggest bear hug. That's a nice welcome. Yeah, that's a real nice welcome home. When your 11-year-old daughter is that excited to see you.
Yeah.
And, just a great feeling. So that was...
I know that feeling. My daughter just started getting excited when I come home.
Yeah, it's because daughters, Charlotte anyway, she's pretty, I don't want to say stoic, but she doesn't show affection a lot. You know what I mean? She's kind of like Pam in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, at home, she's not always like that.
Yeah.
But, like, if I'm gone for a day or two or more, she's so fucking excited to see me.
That's
The
nice.
last when I came back the last time, I was home. She came home from school or from cheer practice that night, and I heard the door open, and she just ran in, man, and just that smile.
That's
God
nice.
damn, it makes you feel good. So yeah, that's always great to come home to, and of course, Jeri and Pam, obviously, but.
I almost ended Jerry's career this morning. Was blew his ankle out.
Oh, fucking Macon with his bicycle.
That mother freaker, dude.
Yep. Out of control.
Out of control.
What happens if tomorrow you go, no, Macon, you're not bringing your bike? What happens?
When they say, like, you should pick your battles?
Yeah, that's one of them.
That's one of them.
Yeah,
dude.
because he'll just lose his fucking mind.
And it's my fault. Like, I allow him
So now you're
to
stuck
do
there.
the most before school. Like, we play, like, he plays at the skate park. He brings his toys. He learned his bike. Like, taking away his bike is, to me, to him, is probably like, why the fuck did you teach me all this? I thought we were doing bike things now. I thought we were doing big things now.
I thought this is what we were. But we're a bike person.
Taking that away is like taking away his identity. It's like, it's just not cool.
I get it.
What else is going on out there?
Man,
We were supposed to have a guest this morning, but Brett forgot about it and
motherfucker.
didn't schedule his work properly, so he has to go have a meeting with a bunch of guys up in DuPont area.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. Let's do some questions here. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm anxious to hear about this because this is a surprise, complete surprise question, rapid fire, whatever. Fuck it, here we go.
Not really so much rapid. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do some here. What was your first job?
I weed whacked a golf course. Just ran the fucking weed whacker.
Sounds sexual.
And I trimmed the entire golf course.
What golf course was this?
It was a small one up in Bear, Delaware called Cedar Run.
Cedar Run.
Cedar Run Golf Course. It was a family friend that owned it. So, my pup-up helped. It was one of his best friends. Helped him start it. My pup-up worked there. Just kind of helped run it as a retirement gig. I was 14. And, that's what I did. And essentially, you would weed whack the whole golf course over a day or two.
Yeah.
And by the time you were done, you had to start again. You know what I mean?
What did you learn from it?
What did I learn from it? That weed whackers can throw rocks into your shins and it fucking hurts pretty bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever got hit by a weed whacker string?
Oh, yeah.
It's...
You know how many times I've weed whacked like an asshole in flip-flops?
Dude, oh, yeah, 100%. I wore shoes.
That's how lazy I can be.
They made me wear shoes, but they didn't make me wear pants. So, like an idiot, I wore shorts a lot. They did make me wear safety goggles, thank God. Because, dude, I got hit so much with sticks and rocks in my fucking eyes that I'd be blind. You know
I actually hate when I'm driving by somebody on the road and they're like weed whacking like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and we're all kind of going slower. I'm like, this asshole, like he's not even going to pause it for a second, just slinging cars.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess you learn a lot of things. Probably shit you don't even realize you learn at the time. But I liked it. I liked working. I've since then, since I was 14, I have not been unemployed. Yeah. I've had a job since then.
I guess we'll go back and forth. So my first job was baling hay at the Wheatley's farm, and
that sucks.
I was excited though. I was like, "Yo, we're gonna go over to the farm and work." I was like, and I remember because Jarrett, I hadn't seen Jarrett, my buddy Jarrett, who lived on the other side of the neighborhood. I was like, "Yo, where you been at lately?" He's like, "Oh, I got a job over at the farm." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "He's like, you want to work there too?" I'm like, "Well, we get to hang out. Sure, I'll fucking work."
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I got there, and we were working in the second story of the barn. So Mr. Wheatley was throwing the bales onto an elevator.
Yep.
And what I learned from that fucking day, or many a day working there, is you cannot judge an old man.
No.
Because that guy could sling them onto that elevator much faster than I could put him away at that time. And I might have been, this is probably 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah.
So he was like, I just remember like
work circles around your ass.
A couple times like reaching for a bale and then a bale dropping on my back.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I remember he couldn't read or write, so he would either write us a check or he would pay us all in like change and dollars. Not that we weren't making much back then. I got paid. I don't even know what the hell.
I got paid $5 an hour in cash. That's what I got paid.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I was excited though. I was excited to have a job. Plus being on a farm, playing in the barn, I mean, it was awesome.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
What is the most important lesson you have learned in your career?
God damn. My career now?
Yeah.
As a real estate agent?
Yeah, let's go. Let's stick with what you. Yeah, let's stick with your most. Yeah.
Oh, that nobody is like me. And
Yeah.
I don't say that as like I'm the best. I'm saying that like I can't expect other people to have the same standards as myself.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be upset when somebody doesn't do it like I would do it.
Okay.
Because, you know what I'm saying? So you can let that go. Some people get controlling over shit, right? And if you have a team around you or if you have an admin around you,
Yeah.
I don't get upset when they don't do things exactly how I would do them because no one else is like me.
It's par for the course.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. I'm
Yeah.
not saying anything bad about anybody.
Well, that's just
but
smart.
some
You
people,
have to learn where you learn where the weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And I learned, so if I were to apply that to my construction, I know what crew to put on what job, what type of work, and I know where one of the biggest things that I have to watch, because I'm not doing it, if it's me doing finish work, the finish work is where I wish somebody would have took a little more time on a miter. Or maybe they scribed a piece of wood better so I don't have gaps that I have to caulk in later or something like the little bit of finish work. If I go down and I see something, I'm like, motherfucker, man. Like I can honestly tell they were like just getting out at the last moment. Like it was like this last like some parts can be, especially in construction, you have to watch that. Even a last piece, when you nail stuff in, like if like and it's finished and the homeowner doesn't like it, like it's not like I just take it off. It's like, all right, well it's finished, it's caulked, and now it's gonna rip some drywall. Like it's a whole repair now.
Yeah.
You know, so you definitely learn, like you say, like where the weaknesses are, and I'm not surprised when I see it sometimes. I just, you know.
Yeah, it's just the way the world works. So
Yeah.
People get hung up on other folks that they're surrounded with that don't do things exactly the same as they do.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. You can't have those expectations because it's impossible.
Yeah. Especially, I would say in real estate, I expect a realtor not to be that great.
Yeah, and well,
Because
I'm not even saying
they're not trained. There's not a lot of there's no training when you get your
No.
license.
No.
There's no training on how to be a good businessman.
And also because everybody's different. I don't care as long as I don't care how you get there, as long as you get there. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like me. You know?
It's nice when you get the other realtor that's on the same page as like trying to get to the finish line no matter what. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we take what most people don't know is we take like the most like damage, like getting to the finish line. Like we're gonna have to eat egos. We're gonna have to like get told we sucked at some point or something.
Yeah, have hard conversations.
Hard conversations. Dealing with buyers and sellers that have different interests that can act like little kids, especially if it's like a divorce.
If there's emotions in it.
Yeah, emotions, and then you know, like I'll have to solve like the home improvement list or sometimes losing money. I have one deal where I have one deal that cost me $4,000. I had one deal where I gave away my commission so they could get the house because I was like, what am I going to do? Say no and then they don't get this house? These people can barely get into a house. Like, what am I going to do? Stand in there and be like, no, they ain't paying me. Yeah. You know, it's not going to work out. I said, just remove my commission. That's all I got to do and they get this house done. Whatever.
Yeah, there's a bigger picture here for sure.
What advice would you give someone starting out in your field?
God damn it, do something else.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, go do something else. There's no room for you.
Okay, well, that's Jerry's advice. My advice, someone starting out in a business is to make sure that they're actually a business owner. You know, they have to look at themselves and say, like, you know, the honeymoon part's going to wear off. It's exciting when you first start out by yourself, but at some point, you only have so many friends and family. So once those jobs, is typically what happens. Someone will start a business, you know, a couple friends and family, maybe had a couple things working like, hey, I'm about to leave this company. I know you want to use them. Maybe I'll come do it, side. Yeah. And eventually, once those jobs run out, like, it's on you. And one of the biggest things, advice I can give people starting out in, say, construction is you're not in the business of building stuff. If you already care, like you actually care about a good product and you're going to do that part well, there's a lot of people that do that. The part that's probably most important is understanding you're not in home improvement, you're in sales.
Yep.
You have to know how to sell. So if you don't have a sales background, you better learn very quickly because some guys, what they do is they'll just drop their pants to get a job. They'll just they don't know how to negotiate, and
Yeah.
they don't.
Yep.
Especially when you're first starting, you're like, you need a job, so you just you take a bunch of money out, because you need to get the job because you need some money. But you learn very quickly that it'll cost you money.
Yeah.
The jobs that don't have money in them don't go well, and if the homeowner's beating you up, then it's not going to be a great homeowner. So, learning sales, that's the business you're in.
Sales is important for everything. I don't care what you do, what you're in. I don't care if you don't work. If you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, you're still selling. You still got to sell it to your kids to eat their dinner, to brush their teeth, to go to bed on time, to do their homework. You're still going to sell to your, it's persuasion, or it's a conversation that you're having. That's all sales is. So,
What is the biggest challenge in your industry right now?
God damn, I'm tired of talking about work. Challenge.
I think one of the biggest ones are for us is the attack on commissions, probably. And
but that's not that hard to navigate. Just different. Just learning something different.
Would you say it's people understanding what realtors actually do?
Yeah, I don't even really care about that. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what we do.
So what is it? What's the biggest challenge you think the industry is facing in real estate?
The challenge right now is there's not a whole lot of inventory for the amount of buyers that are out there. That's the challenge. So it's getting a lot more cutthroat between clients and realtors, and
and I would say affordable houses.
affordable housing is, well, I mean, it's all relative, right? But
I don't think so. I mean, if you're a person that just got out of college and you have just a starting job, it's fucking luck out here.
It's definitely tough.
When the medium house where we live is $400,000.
Yeah.
So you got a $3,500 payment. You're starting out, and your paycheck every 2 weeks is $1,500. Good luck.
Yeah. No,
I don't know how they do it. Yeah. I got one customer now that I'm getting ready to fix a screen porch in the house that their daughter's renting the house from them. She's like, she can't even afford the house. She just got out of college. She can't get a house right now.
Dude, it's crazy.
What is a common myth about your job?
Need better questions.
I would say what's a common myth? Number one, realtors don't do anything.
Yeah. I was going to say a common myth is, that we don't do anything, or that we don't earn our money, But here's the thing: what other industry out there does shit like give away their paycheck or share?
I don't
their
know
paycheck? There's not. You go to your doctor and say, "Hey, I referred you on one of your patients. Can you share your paycheck with me?"
Yeah. They're
going to tell you to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
There's no other industry that does shit like that.
Yeah.
Yes, there are times where a deal is a slam dunk and everything works the way it's supposed to, and it's perfect, and at the end of the day you get a nice fat commission for it. That's great. However, in between there, what nobody wants to talk about is the shit where you do have to cut your commission. You are giving away pieces of your paycheck. You're playing all these other parts on the transaction that you really don't have to be doing, but you do it. The other thing is, for the majority of realtors out there in the world, they're not making above minimum wage.
Yeah.
The majority of realtors that are out there in this country do 6 deals a year, and that you can go much easier go work a regular old 9-to-5 job and make more than that and have less stress.
Yeah, because I think what people only see the transaction, the end of the deal. What they didn't see is how many buyers one realtor went and showed, how many houses ever, how much over time, like that. And
people only talk about the super successful realtors, which is only the top 10%.
Yeah.
Like people only say, "Oh, look how many deals Jeri closes," and they just assume that's all realtors. Yeah. I can get into real estate, and then I will do the amount of transactions that Jeri does. That's not the case. The majority fail. The majority fail in 2 years. They get out of the business because they can't pay their bills.
They didn't learn sales.
You don't learn how to have a good relationship with people. And then the other thing is, if you are selling, it ain't enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah, to give you guys some ideas of how some realtors are getting paid, even if it is a slam dunk and it's smooth, some of these realtors are part of teams that take half their money.
Yeah.
So if they get a lead through, say, Sync, they go show this person 10 houses, they finally buy, and then they get, let's say, a $10,000 commission, which would be a big commission to a buyer or a seller looking at like, damn, you got 10,000, the other person got 10,000. That person will only get maybe 5,000 of that.
Yep.
And then they have to pay tax on it later.
And then Uncle Sam's got their hand out. And then you've got all the so, and if you're only doing one of those every 2 months, that's not shit.
All the time you spent. Guess what? Buyers ain't looking at houses at 9 a.m. They look at it after they get off work. So you got people that are leaving their families at night.
And look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we can't make ungodly amount of money. You can. You're just going to have to work for it.
There is some layups out there. There is some, like, somebody calls you, I got to sell a house. I'm like, beautiful.
And the good thing about any sales industry is, or commission-based industry is, there's no cap on what you can make. You can make as much as you want. The harder you work, the more you do, then the more money you will make. But most people don't want to do that.
Yeah. Proceed. What would be the most important strength someone would need to be successful in your industry?
Resilience.
Yeah. You got to have a level head in that.
Dude, thick skin, resilience, level head. Yeah, all
that applies to me.
If you're fucking weak, you're soft. You ain't gonna make a commission-based industry.
Yeah,
ain't gonna stop being so fucking soft.
That is construction. Essentially, is commission-based. In a different way.
You're if you're not closing deals and getting contracts, you're not getting paid.
I have to be the most level-headed person. Like, that's where I see some people fail as, construction owners, is that they're probably not business owners. Maybe they're really good, but they're not business owners, because I see some guys cannot handle any pushback from a customer. They just can't handle, like, they take everything as a personal attack on their work. Yeah. So some guys just like, I could tell you right now, two industries that don't give a fuck is, first off, plumbing. The plumbers and electrics, they'll come in there and cuss up a fucking storm in your fucking work site. And because, they just get frustrated really quick. They're not doing business. They're doing one part. And, like, it's always those two where, like, my homeowner's like, damn, that person didn't like their job today. I'm like, were they cussing? Like, yeah, we can hear them cussing down the basement and shit. I'm like, Jesus, man. Like, those two, like, you can tell, like, that person should only be an hourly laborer. They could never own a business, like.
Yeah. No, there's definitely qualities that you should have if you're going to get into those certain spaces.
Yeah, you have to understand, too, like, you got to jump on stuff while it's hot. You have to be able to be willing to do the extra work. Like, sometimes I look at candidates like, look, I have to go do this. There is no, like,
no.
They want to spend money with me. I have to go there now while it's hot. Like, I'm sorry we were going to do this thing. I have to go there now. Or I have to go pick up this contract. I got to go pick up this check now. Why they're wanting to give it to me.
And that's the challenge, too, for a spouse if you're self-employed. Because, you're going to miss out on things. You're going to have to be away. You're going to have to be doing stuff more. It's not like I'm clocking in, clocking out, and when I come home, I'm done with work. It does not stop.
Always.
It's so you got to be okay as a wife or spouse with your partner, your husband or your wife, taking phone calls at the dinner table, or if you're on vacation, working a little bit.
Yeah. Now, as you get better, you set some rules. Like, I have rules now where, like, I try not to have the phone on me when I get home. But, like, say, like, Sunday nights, like, she knows, like, I go in the back bedroom and I just lay on the bed and, like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm setting up tomorrow. Like, I need to talk to everybody right now, and I need to get Monday set up. Can't set up Monday morning. That's got to get set up on Sunday, Yeah. So.
Yeah, and what comes with, like, everybody wants to have a husband that provides and makes good money and all of these great things, but what comes with it is going to be some shit you're probably not going to like.
Yeah.
So what the fuck do you want?
Yeah, like, I mean, like.
And women can complain about all that shit, but in reality, they don't want a guy that doesn't do that.
Yeah.
You might think you do, but you don't.
You don't.
And you just can't have the best of both worlds. Sorry.
What is your favorite book?
God dang it, man. My favorite book. One, I haven't read one in a long time, or listen. I listen because I'm too stupid to read.
Yeah. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah. I like business stuff. I like books that when you read, you're learning something. I don't like fiction. So
don't like fiction.
I don't like fiction.
I'm with you on that. If I'm going to read something, I want it to be applicable in real time so that I can use it later.
I want it to be a way for me to get better at whatever I'm reading about. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I as well do not read. The most I read now is like maybe a clip out of Deer Hunter magazine or something, or my Florida Fisherman.
I just
The
can't
last
focus.
book I was reading a book. Cass did give me a book. I couldn't put it down for a while. It was the Magnolia couple from the TV show. The ones that do home renovations. It was about his story, and he has a crazy story. The redheaded guy that's married to the Asian Spanish Magnolia Network. That lady, what's her name?
No
Who
clue.
gives a shit.
No clue.
Moving on.
Anyway.
My favorite book that I read though, probably still today, was Freakonomics. That's probably still my favorite book.
Okay. Is
that
it sexual?
No, it's
Oh.
Freakonomics is comparing two totally different industries and how they actually correlate.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
very.
I think Freakonomics could also be sexual, though.
It could.
It could be all about, the
our next
bedroom,
podcast.
the economy of the bedroom.
Yeah. Do you? I'm gonna say you do this pretty well. What do you do to practice self-care?
Do shit like go alligator hunting.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a firm believer in you're never going to wish you worked more when you're staring at the end. You're never going to be like, oh man, I really didn't work enough. I really didn't focus on the stressful things enough. It's like, so I have the awareness that I'm almost 44 years old, so I'm pretty much, if I'm lucky, at the halfway point of my life.
Yeah.
And more than likely, I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning.
That's how I feel.
So my focus is like I'm gonna be aware at what I got, the time I have, and spending it with, my wife and kids and my friends, and do the things that I want to do. And it's intentional why I do what I do professionally, to be able to make money, have the time. And I get shit for it all the time. Must be nice to not have to work today. I heard it fucking today. In a joking way, right? It's just a buddy's joking with me. I heard it last Friday.
Yeah.
Again, in a joking way. Like, oh, you have all this time to go do all this stuff. Like, well, we all make fucking choices.
You made a choice.
Make the choice, and that's fine. It's not a wrong choice. Whatever works for you. For me, I sit there and I've lost my dad when he was 43 years old, and I've had two of my best friends die of diseases. Right. Well, one was alcohol, one was cancer. We ain't promised tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
So, like, if I got a chance and I can, on a Wednesday, go out and go crabbing or fishing, or take my son somewhere, or, I just choose because I fucking want to pull him out of school for a couple of days to hunt, and that's what we're going to do.
That's just being an athlete. You know why? Because what do athletes do? They find a path of least resistance.
Find a way to win.
Well, most athletes, you find a path of least resistance, right? You're going to look at an opponent or look at a team and say, how can I effectively beat them?
Yeah.
What is the path that I can strike the fastest, the easiest way? What can I expose? And that's essentially what you're doing with the world. It's like, okay, so so you can work for yourself? Yeah. Okay. It sounds like I should do that. I'll have time. I can choose to do something I want to do. Okay, well, it sounds like I'm going to do that then.
Yeah, I can. Can I make more money? Sure, I can.
I have the formula. I could make a lot more money with my construction company. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the time. I value the time more. How much money do I need?
I could always make more money. I can't make more time.
Yeah.
I have 1 year. My son's getting ready to turn 7. I'm going to have 1 year with that 7-year-old, his whole life.
Yeah.
My daughter just turned 11. I got 1 year with an 11-year-old daughter.
You know what I
It'll
heard?
never happen again.
You know what I just heard? I read yesterday is someone said, you never know when it's going to be the last time you pick your kid up.
Yeah. I think about shit like that. Yeah, I know.
I was like, fuck, man. Like, right now, I pick them up all the time. I hug, I carry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to carry my kids, making places, but I do. I'm like, damn, but then there'll be a day where, like, I'm not picking them up anymore.
So that's happening right now with Charlotte. Like, Charlotte's 11. She's also, like, 17 foot tall. And, I don't carry her to bed anymore.
Yeah.
And it will probably still happen because there's been times, more recently, that she's fallen asleep, like, in the car. And I will happily carry her long ass up them stairs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's going to happen again. It might not. It might be, and we might be talking about it never happening again.
Yeah.
But it probably will. but I'm aware of that. I think of that. And if my kid says, little Jerry says, piggyback me upstairs, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
let
how
him
I take making the bed every night.
I'll let him choke my ass out while I'm going up the stairs.
Yeah. I remember making my dad piggyback. I used to, when we lived in Swanwick, I would make my dad piggyback me to my bedroom. So he would piggyback me, and I'd say, he had a brother at the time, Uncle JP. I'd be like, JP. I'd say, PP, knife. And he had a stiletto. And I'd go up, and he would just open it, like flick it in front of my face, and then my dad would carry me back and piggyback me to the Newcastle shit, dude. Come on.
Yeah. No, you're right, man.
Well, speaking of that, where did you grow up, and how did that affect who you became?
Grew up Glasgow Trailer Court in Bear/Newark area. Not the greatest neighborhood. Kind of white trashy. However,
all trailer parks are. What the fuck you talking about, dude?
But lots of great people though. There's a lot of really, really good people in there, and I had really great parents.
Yeah.
My parents were not white trashy, right? This is where we lived, right? I never went without. We didn't have a lot, right? We weren't rich. We weren't even middle fucking class.
But you weren't without.
But I was not. I never went to bed hungry, right?
Yeah.
My dad was one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my entire life. So he made sure of that. I look at the kids in the neighborhood, and besides one other one, my buddy Anthony, everybody else was in the wrong path.
Yeah.
Right? Either some of them are dead. Other ones just don't have great lives right now. Me and Anthony, we did good, right? I always say the reason why that is because of football.
Yeah.
Because when before that real peer pressure age, I was already playing football.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time. And then once you learn an organized sport, and especially a sport that takes the discipline like football does, even in the off season, it's like, well, I can't do these things because of this, or I wanted to play. I wanted to do other things. So it kept me away from other bad shit that other people that didn't play sports chose to take that route. So I always say that's the reason why.
So it sounds like it showed you it gave you a fork in the road to make it good.
Well, 100%, and that's what I was kind of I guess in a long way go back to. Your environment is not going to be what you are, and if you live in a shitty area, that doesn't mean you have some big deficit in life.
Yeah,
you
don't owe them anything.
And the people that go, oh well, you grew up in a rich white neighborhood with all these other things, and this person grew up in Section 8, that doesn't mean fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because I was a lot closer to Section 8 than I was a rich white neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just, you choose the different path. You know?
You recognize what you're in. You say, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
The first chance I get to make the moves that I can control to get out of here, I'm going to do it.
That's exactly it. That's the biggest life lesson. People cry about how they were raised. Fuck it, you're soft. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I too had the experience of going from living in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And having your bike stolen as soon as it was left in the yard.
Yep. Same.
To being in the back of a U-Haul. Actually, we should come down to Smyrna and visit the house while it was getting built. And I was like, man, this is crazy down here. Like coming down here, I'm like, I was like, I really hope this works out. And I can remember being back at a U-Haul, driving down, and like, I think that's probably why I'm self-employed too. Like, that's the first like really big moment of like my parents doing something better for themselves, right?
Yeah.
For their family. And I'm like, I see them doing it. I'm like, this. So the first, like, so I got to piggyback on like that feeling. I'm like, all right, man, like you can make change for good.
Yep.
And I remember we passed Captain Bones, and the shark is in the tank. If you don't know Captain Bones, on the highway, there's a big shark inside of a glass tank. And I remember I saw that. I remember thinking, man, where we're about to move to is going to be pretty cool.
Fuck yeah.
And I got down to Smyrna, and I am the only country person in my family.
Yeah.
Because of, so now
it was the generation that moved. It was
so I grew up. I was surrounded by 4 farm fields. You know, like if you want to play with an irrigate, if you want to play with, I never played with a sprinkler in a yard. We didn't have like the slip and slides. We went and climbed on the irrigation systems in the cornfield and played on that. Like, so
got sprayed with the water there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wild, ain't it?
Yeah, so that definitely, allowed me to safely be a boy, down here. That was a lot better. I'd imagine, man, if I'd have stayed up north, I'd probably be in jail.
Dead from a drug overdose.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
God damn it, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a problem. Maybe I don't take compliments well. I don't know.
One comes to mind for me is a professor in college, and we used to go to her house and have beers. Me and Dara used to go over there and have beers with her. She was a little younger. I mean, there might have been some mixed intentions with my partner there, but we'd go there and we'd sit at her table and we would have like really deep discussions. And I can remember her saying, she was like, you know what, T-Right, you're a very interesting person.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, thanks, man, because I don't really get to talk have these these are kind of conversations I look for.
Yeah.
Instead of like just partying and being in short conversation about sports and all this.
Yeah.
Like if I could sit down with an adult who's got, when you're surrounded in a locker room with a bunch of football players, there's only a few guys that have 3-dimensional brains.
Yeah.
That want to talk deeper.
Yeah. I think for me it was, I've been told I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
And that means a lot because I care about my friends.
Yeah.
And we're really, if you're in my circle, if you're in my life, I care about you a lot.
Yeah.
That's always big. And then the other thing, that just first comes to mind is like when somebody says that like your kid is doing good.
Yeah.
That's like a huge compliment.
Any compliment my son gives me is the best.
Yeah.
When he's like,
sure.
you're the best dad, you're the coolest dad, or I'm
yeah.
like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
man.
I like hearing it, and I do like that too. It's nice when you hear something from somebody else and they say genuinely something nice about your kid, or that you guys are doing you're doing a good job, you're raising good humans. Yeah. That's just
when people call me weird, I really take that as a compliment. I'm like, thank God, because I say, thank God I'm not normal.
Yeah. Yeah,
or when some people people talk about how much energy Macon has. I'm like, good man, he's got like my spirit. Like he's going to be, he's going to be okay.
He'll be okay.
If money wasn't a factor, what would you do with your time?
Outdoor stuff, all the time.
Just outdoor
hunting, fishing, camping, being outside.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
I've always thought like if I hit the lottery for a lot, first off, I wouldn't tell a motherfucker. I would secretly act like my business really blew up, and then I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I think what I've always thought I could just help people. I was like, man, one thing I would do if money was no object, I wouldn't really go off buying a bunch of houses, or something like I wouldn't buy like a big kingdom. Like, all right, now we live everywhere. Now we can live anywhere. We can go anywhere we want. So we're gonna slowly travel the world. But we're going to help people along the way. So I always thought, like, man, I could build a house. Like I've always wanted to just grab like an old Victorian and just like teach myself more and just renovate the whole thing. And then,
if you're talking about,
and then just give it to somebody that could really. And I'm saying somebody. I ain't saying because they're just poor. I'm saying somebody that like needs the break. Like somebody that's actually working hard.
Yeah.
Needs the fucking break. I'm like, here's a break. We all get breaks. You know what I mean?
That's who you want to help. Is always. I don't want to just help somebody that's without.
Yeah.
Like you've got to show me that you really deserve something. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's almost like the opposite of what you would think you would help, because like I can't reward bad behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're doing something for other people more than yourself, and you're going without, then that's what I want to help.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Fuck, man.
What would you say makes you uncomfortable, like pet peeve? Like sometimes there's pet peeve and there's things that make you uncomfortable in public, like settings.
There ain't really much, honestly. No. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I've gotten really good the older I get of just being like, I don't have the bandwidth for that. I don't really give a shit.
I can't do. When you talk to like I can tell you right now, when I go to Lowe's later today, somebody's going to tell me they're living the fucking dream. And I'll go, okay. I hope it's a good one. Doesn't seem like you are, but I hate those responses. I'm like, okay.
I probably have.
What the fuck do you want me to say?
Yeah.
It's just another fucking day in paradise. I'm like, okay.
That's just small talk. And like I get it. It's lame. It's a lame response. Tell me something real. You know what I mean? Tell me you're having a shitty day.
Yeah.
Like,
tell me
how you doing today? You know what? I fucking really ain't feeling it today. Yeah, that's a cool response.
What's one of your biggest challenges in life?
My biggest challenge? Fuck. I'm not stupid, man. I think I have it pretty fucking easy. Like, what is that? Let me think for a minute.
I'll tell you mine while you're thinking.
All right.
Mine's is staying motivated. I suffer with depression. I always get really bad winter depression, and so I'm like a working dog. I need to stay working. I need to stay active, and it's very healthy for me. And like building what I've built has been great. It also has not been good for me because I have more free time now, which sometimes I don't use to my advantage.
Yeah, because you're good backwards.
You
can easily go backwards.
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest challenges is the motivation. Like I keep failing at fitness and eating well. Like I have this whole vision of myself of what I could be, and I fail at it every day.
Well, then you need to focus on discipline, not motivation.
Yeah, no, I focus on discipline. I also focus on the things that set me up for failure. So I've really recognized what sets me up for failure. Number one, alcohol. Alcohol on the weekend will wreck my whole fucking good week. Yeah. And then I get depressed about a Sunday, and I say, fuck it, and I'll start eating bad Monday and Tuesday, and it's just a cycle, right?
And you're like, well, I'm almost to the weekend, so might as well keep going.
Might as well keep going. So
dude, I mean, that is a real challenge for most people.
But sometimes just staying motivated works. Like sometimes it's a lot, and I look at it, and thank God, like, the one easy motivation is I can't fail because there is no backup plan. I'm in. I'm not going backwards.
Yeah, and you know what? Think here and having this conversation, that is a good one. I would say right now in this moment, like a challenge for me is to kind of get back to having my nutrition dialed in, get out of the summer hangover where you just kind of like, oh, well, I'm not really worried about it. I'm gonna, because it is a challenge to get back focused up because my problem is I can't eat whatever I want. I can't eat and drink whatever I want, do whatever I want, not go to the gym because if I do that, I'll become 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt, I cannot just eat. I have to eat clean at least most of the time.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm just going to be a fat piece of shit.
That's my problem. I don't gain any more weight. The weight I'm at now, I have never been able to go above it.
Yeah.
No matter how much I eat, how bad I'm being. If I was drinking 4 days a week,
you'll just feel like shit.
I'll feel like shit. A lot of inflammation, but I cannot break the 250. Yeah. I cannot get above it. It's just like I don't have a way to get above. Maybe because I still do a lot for myself. So maybe that's why. What is the favorite thing about yourself and why?
Favorite thing about myself is, it's so hard to talk about yourself. I don't really give a shit about talking about myself. But I think is that if I'm focused on something, you're not going to beat me at it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about ability. I'm not talking about like throwing a football farther than me or lifting more weights than me. There's people that are going, I can't do more than those things, more than those people. But if it comes down to like
showing up every day to do it, if I'm dialed in, you can't get any better than me. Like, it's going to fucking happen. And, you're like, I guess when it comes to discipline or if I'm focused on something, if I'm locked in, then, I know I'm unstoppable. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about me.
Okay. Mine would be probably just the ability to live in the moment and enjoy life. Yeah. I'm very good at like.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at it. I wasn't born that way.
Yeah, just to look at the bigger picture and like, dude,
I've gotten better at it my second half of my life, but it was a work. I wasn't born that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's something you definitely got to work at, and you also, you got to, know how to manage that. You can't be having a great time all the time.
No.
What is your biggest fear?
Man, honestly, my biggest fear is like leaving my family early because I saw
the same one. I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. I figured you were probably going to say the same thing.
Yeah, because like there's things that I'd be like, oh, feel a failure. I could always come back from that. All those things, right? But my biggest fear is like not being on this earth when my family still needs me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the biggest fear. And I don't live scared.
Yeah.
I don't do things. I don't say, well, I'm not going to go fly or I'm not going to go do these things because shit could happen. I don't want it to, but it could. But no, that would suck.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think is your biggest failure?
Biggest failure.
Like, what have you had a big fail?
I don't ever think of things as failures because if it doesn't work, you just learn.
Yeah, let's say like, yeah, and I don't know if I have any like actual failures where like something like we did not recover from.
Yeah, no, I don't have any. I would say if you want to intertwine failure with like a regretful moment,
Yeah.
which could be a failure, it would probably be not playing college football, and I would call that a failure because I didn't think selfishly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't play mostly because of a girl who I ended up married and getting divorced from. So it kind of like that whole experience that I really wanted my whole life, and it was easier to not do it because I was like, well, number one, I had this girl in the picture and I don't want to leave, and then number two, like I talked myself into that I was tired. I'm like, man, I'm really fucking tired of like football starting every goddamn summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know that tiredness of like, man, what's it like to have a whole summer and fall? That'd be cool.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know exactly what that's like because I played 4 years of college ball. I did not play my senior semester.
Yeah, see?
You know
Yeah,
why?
because you got burned out.
I got burned out. I got jaded from sports. I did not like the coaches. They were just like not good people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it showed on our team because they recruited shitty characters. But I said, you know what, man? I just want to know what it's like not to represent this team, this community.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be Tom Wright going to class, and that's like there's more to life than just this thing.
Yeah,
and I want to see what that's like. So I didn't play. There was one kid that I respected, and that was Jake Myers. And when he didn't come back for his senior, I was like, if he ain't coming back, like, then yeah, I'm gonna ride out too. Then
yeah.
I was like, there's some other. Like, I just want to, like, for once in my life, I just want to see what school's like if you just go to class and you just hang out and just like
have fun.
Yeah, like, so then I got my hunter safety course. I was playing, indoor soccer. I got a job.
You were doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. And if I
schedule.
fucked up, I didn't owe anybody nothing.
Yeah.
I can remember like being in high school one time. I got in trouble because I went to Wawa and brought back I remember Mr. Lloyd, Buddy Lloyd, was like, he's like, I can't have you eating Wawa in the cafeteria. I'm like, why not? He's like, because then that meant you left. He wasn't mad that I left. He's like, I understand you guys leave because you're hungry and shit. Like, I don't really care about that. He's like, but you can't come in this.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, well, fuck that, man. Why the fuck I always got to represent everybody every fucking moment? I was pissed. I'm like, why the fuck do I always got to represent everybody and I'm cool? Because I'm out here doing cool shit. They could leave too. They could make their own choices and just say, fucking, I'm rolling out.
Yeah.
Like,
that, I wouldn't count that as a failure, maybe, but it kind of is.
A regret?
Like limited. I have very limited regrets. That's definitely one of them. The other one would probably be not banging a hot mom when I was married to my ex-wife. I definitely should have did that.
Damn.
I didn't. So
the things you know later.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my I don't say it's a failure, but one thing I think about sometimes, like, man, I wish I was like, man, I was so good at living the moment. I really wish I would have done, like, there's just like in the back of my head, if it's a regret, it's like I want to do I always wish I could have done like a homeless travel. I did a little bit. Yeah. Just travel the world and just kind of like
backpacking,
got a shitty job at a bar, worked and then like somehow I always thought, like, what if I could have made the most out of those relationships and started like a website, like Where's Tom, and like the relationships I could have built with people, like, something like that,
Yeah, that'd been cool.
That would have been cool, what keeps you up at night? But you actually go to sleep early.
Yeah, I go to sleep early. I go to sleep pretty easy. Very rarely I'll get stressed about something and it always hits me at nighttime, and that might keep me up. But I'm pretty good at like shifting my brain. Really, nothing keeps me up. Not many things will keep me awake. If you want to say literally keep me up at night, barely anything. But it's usually work stress.
Yeah, early in my career of being self-employed, definitely work stress. I'd be on YouTube researching stuff like how I thought would be the best way to get it done. Mm-hmm. I think keeps up now is like, am I doing the most? Like, am I doing the most to make the most out, like, for my family, I tell Candace, like, I need to put like a playbook together, stuff we can do right after school. Like I need to learn more, like where I can take my boat quickly right after school, making up. Like
Yeah.
I need to be better at having a playbook for my own backyard.
I think we are doing the most because we don't have enough fucking time to do anything else. So, which tells me we're doing the most.
Yeah.
Is it the right most? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
But,
What's your favorite quote?
No one cares. Work harder.
That has been a good one around Smyrna.
I mean, it's the best.
Yeah.
Everything goes back to it. You know, oh, you're doing great. You're doing great things. Nobody cares. Work harder. You're not doing great. No one cares. Work harder.
Mine is the wounds of honor are self-inflicted.
Yeah.
And I think that's big for my pedigree is, knowing that the choices you're going to make if you want to be an honorable person. That decision only comes with you hurting yourself. Because that's how honor comes, because you're telling the situation no, and that person or that thing or whatever is gonna lash you for it because you didn't go in their direction. Yeah. So when you're sticking up for yourself, it's the wounds of honor are self-inflicted.